Hi guys, welcome back again to Morglintz YouTube channel. If you are coming across this channel for the first time, I say a very big welcome to you. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our video with your family and friends because we have a lot of juicy videos on this channel that you can get to learn from. And to my returning viewers, you guys rock. You guys are the real MVP. Thank you for always staying tuned. Today we'll be learning how to make this trendy gele style in an AutoGele. It's a very beautiful gele style. So I'll be teaching you guys how to make it in an AutoGele. So kindly stay tuned, guys. So this is the material that I'll be using is an Asha okay. So I'll be bringing out my measurements. I already made the base which is a V base. So I'm just bringing out the measurements for the frame. So I have the tutorial on my channel. I have the tutorial on my channel. So I'll be attaching the link in my description box so you can get to learn from it and grab from where I stopped over there. So I'll just bring out the measurements for the frame in here. So I'll go to my sewing machine to sew and stitch together. So let's bring out 36, 27, and 25. 36, 27, 25. And for the left side, 31, 25, and 24. So I'll put the measurements in my description box for better understanding. So I'll be bringing out my measurements now for each side so I can go to my sewing machine and sew. And again, I will put the measurements, the link for the V-shape base so you can have access to it. I already have two tutorial for V-shape base on my channel, so you can check either of the two videos for better understanding. But for this particular one, I'll put the link at the description box for you guys to see so you can follow up from there how I did my frame. So now let me start cutting my this is so I can go to my sewing machine to sew. So now that I have it neatly all cut out neatly, the right side and the left side that I'll be using to construct my frame, so I can now go to my sewing machine to stitch it together. I'll join each side together, then I'll come and show you what I have after joining. So after joining, this is what I have. As you can see, this is the longest part. Like we all know, I used to cut my handle together with my measurements, so I won't have to start attaching the handle with it afterwards. So that's the part I'll be using for the handle. You can see that is where I'll be stopping at. So the other part is what I'll be using for my handle to tie. So I have it also in the left side too. So this is the two side I'll be using. And for my base, I'll be using a V-shape base. So this is the base. As you can see in the tutorial, in the gele itself, in the gele style, it is a V-shape base that was used. So this is my V-shape base, and I have the tutorial and the link below. So now I'll start constructing my frame. So the right side first, and placing the material on my frame, I'll be stopping at the last piece of my pleats. I have 6 pleats, so I'll be stopping on the 6th pleat, and I'll be moving 2 inches away from the middle because it's a side knot, and I'm moving 2 inches away from the middle, and I'll be stopping at the side where my vector tape is. At that side where my vector tape is, and it must be slantly placed on the pleat, and I'll be stopping where the handle, the remaining pieces that I use in joining the handle. So I'll be stopping at the 2nd pleat joining. So as you see now, I'm pinning. I hope the explanation I just made is clear enough. If it's not clear enough, just kindly rewatch so I can understand. So I'll be pinning down both ends at the vector tape side and 2 inches away from the middle so that it doesn't shift. And I'll make sure the first pleat I'm pleating is on the last pleat of my base, like on the 6th pleat of my V base. So I hope all these key points are well noted so you can have a very neat work. So just make sure it is slightly placed and it is on the sixth pleat. If you are using four pleats, whatever pleats you are using, just make sure it's on the last pleat. So I'll be bringing it now to stitch to my base. Unlike those that I used to do before that I'll construct my frame first. So no, now I'm attaching my frame first to my base before constructing. So now while stitching, I have to make sure it is not shifting away from the last pleat, from the last lane. I have to make sure, so I'll stitch it down and stop at the vector tape side. So just carefully, I want to show you guys the process. I don't want to fast forward anything, so you can see the due process in which I use in making this beautiful gele. So I'll just make sure it is slant. If it is shifting, just make sure you are putting it back, you are putting it right back on the track. So just watch what I'm doing. So that's the point where I'll be stopping at the vector tape side. So now that I'm at that side, that's where I'll be stopping my stitch. So now that it has been neatly stitched to the base, I'll start constructing I'll start forming my pleats, making sure the pleats are not too wide. The space in between each pleat must not be more than 1 inch, so that it is not too wide and it is not too tiny, so that your pleats can be well constructed. And I'll be stopping at the middle of the fabric as I'll be tying my knot. So I'll be stopping at the midpoint of the whole fabric, which is literally at the second pleat, at the second piece, the midpoint of the second pleat. That is where I'll be stopping at. So I'll leave the remaining parts and form the pleats later, so that I can tie very well, so that I can have access to it while tying. And I'll make sure I'll be pleating to the end of the fabric towards my neckline. So while after arranging that side, I'll be stitching. How you can stitch and at the same time you can just pin down, just to secure the pleats temporarily before constructing the remaining parts. So while doing so, you make sure you come to the upper part as well and secure it down with a pin, so that your pleats, all the pleat does not just fall over and all the effort is not going to go to waste. So I'll make sure I'm arranging my pleats, not making sure each pleat are well arranged and none is being missed, so then I can pin down. You can use the needle and thread to stitch it all together, and you can as well pin. Just make sure you are securing it temporarily so you can have access to other side. So at the other side, I'll be securing it with the needle and thread. Then that's the remaining parts of the fabric, that's the remaining half that I'll be constructing later. So I'll go in now to construct the left side to the base, as I didn't do that initially when I was doing the right side. So I'll be sewing the left side to my base now. Same way I did this side is how I'm going to do the other side too. Note the rule of AutoGele: whatever we do to a side is what we do to the other side. So after it has been neatly stitched to the base, then I'll start forming my pleat as well, same way I did the other side, making sure it is not too wide and it is neatly peaked and nothing is being missed out. And I'll be stopping at the middle too, on this side too. I'll be stopping at the middle, which is the second piece, the half of the second piece, the second away. That's where I'll be stopping at. and I'll make sure I'm pleating down to the neckline so that none is being missed out. Just watch the whole process, and if there's any parts you don't understand, you can just let me know through the comment section so I can explain better. So having securing the pleats at the neckline side, I'll come to the front and arrange, make sure no none of the pleats are being missed. So I'll gather it very well and stitch them with a needle and thread so I can have access to the remaining parts while tying, while forming my knots, while tying my knots. So I will secure it with a needle and thread. Then I'll do the other side too, same way, so that the pleat does not scatter while tying the knots. So guys, this is the point where I'll be tying my knot. So kindly watch what I'm doing. I'll be placing, I'll be gathering my pleats at the middle of the fabric. Yeah, so there I'll be crossing each handle together, then tie. So while tying, you have to make sure the pleats are not shifting away. Then I'll be ending the tie of my knot at the back. I'll neatly arrange it at the front so that it is well laid and smoothly placed on each other. Then I'll be ending it at the back. I'll gather it very well and I'll make sure I'm ending it at the back. Yes, that side is where I'll be ending it at. So avoid story that touches the other and have a very neat job. You don't want it pronounced that it is an AutoGele. On this channel, we make a very beautiful AutoGele looking inside. So I'll be stitching it down with my needle and thread at the back. So I'll secure it permanently before attaching it to the base. So I'll be securing each on each other. So then now I can continue forming my pleat. You can see the reason why I said we should just stitch the pleats temporarily first. Now I'll continue forming my pleats. So this time around I'll form it to the end of the fabric, forming the other half to the end of the fabric. Yeah, so I'll pin down so I can have access to the down part, the neckline part. So I'll be pinning it down, securing the pleat with a pin first. So at this junction, you make sure at the neckline it is well curved. It's not just flat. It is giving that C curve looking inside. You don't just want it pronounced that it is AutoGele or you are putting on a cap. No, this is an AutoGele looking inside. So you gather your pleats very well at the neckline, then make sure your C curve is showing at that neckline side. It is well curved, the pleats there are well gathered, and you can now stitch it down permanently. So the remaining tip of the pleats at the neckline, you just stitch it together with your needle and thread to secure that side before moving forward to the upper part to pleat. So at this point I'm making sure my C is seeing, like that side is well curved. So I'll be stitching it down with a needle and thread. So now that side is well secured, you can see now. So that part, the tip there, I'll be stitching those tip together, secure it so it doesn't fall off, so that my C at that neckline is permanently secured. So I'll just run a loose stitch through the tip of each plate there. So with that, that side is permanently secured. Then I can move to the body of my pleat. So without wasting my time, I'll do the other side. So I don't want to just do, I'm trying to do each side that so that it can be on the same level. So if I'm doing it interwovenly like that, it brings out the perfection in the Gele style. So with that, I'll be arranging my pleats same way I did the other side, and I'll be doing the neckline same way I did the other side too, making sure the neckline is bringing out the C cuff and it is well arranged and properly aligned together so that the C cuff can be well pronounced and making it look untied. So after which I can now go ahead to continue with my, you can see the C at both ends, the right and the left neckline. So that's the beauty of Gele itself. So now I can continue. So stitching I'll be running a loose stitch around the pleats there to secure the pleats at each side. So I'm trying to tie the handles together so I can have access to the pleats. So now that the handles are being tied together firmly, I'll be able to have a better grip of my pleats to know how it's going to look permanently after pleating before running a loose stitch to gather and secure the pleat. So I'll be running about two. So this is the second one that I'm running. I already did the first one close to the neckline, so this is the second stitch, as this is where I'll be ending the pleat before forming my ruffle. So you make sure it is not tight, it has to be very loose so that your pleat is not just pressed together. So then I can now start forming my ruffle. So I'll be doing same thing to the other side too. I'll be securing it at the other side too. Just make sure you are light-handed so that you don't squeeze all the pleats you've gathered so far. You have to make it soft as possible as it can be so that it doesn't squeeze and looking also rumpled. So now that I have it all secured, I can now start forming my ruffle. So the basic rule when forming a ruffle is to squeeze down and pin. So same thing I'll be doing to this part now. I'll be squeezing down and pin. So instead of pinning, I'll be tacking, as I'll just be tacking straight. So there's a detailed story on my channel on how to make a ruffle. It's a very detailed one. So I'll be dropping the link on my description box as well, so you can watch and learn from there. But all the same, what I'll be doing here, you should be able to grab too. But if you want a detailed one, it's on my channel. So all I'll be doing is just to squeeze down the particular part I want to ruffle. I'll squeeze down, then tack. I'll squeeze down and tack. So while tacking, you have to make sure you are making use of a matching thread so that it doesn't look pronounced that you are tacking it. And while tacking, you have to tack from the back. And if you are passing the needle through the ruffles or through the squeezed part, it has to be in between, not in the front, in between or from the back. So I'm making my ruffle in between the pleats and the edges at the top. I want to make the edges look flat, so I won't be ruffling it to the edges. So I'll just be doing it in between. So I want the upper part of the fabric to be flat. So my ruffle is just going to be in between. So I'm trying to make my ruffle to the end of the fabric at the other side, towards the knot at the side. So I'll be ruffling it as much as I can, ruffle to the end of, to the part where the handles are being side at the knot side. So basically that's what I'm just doing, just for me as much as possible ruffle I can. So just keep watching how I'm doing it, and you'll be able to get a proper glimpse of what I'm doing. So after tacking the ruffles, this is what I can see how the edges are. See how the edges, see the edges looking flat. This is actually what I want to get. So after getting my desired ruffle and edges, so I'll be tacking the ruffles. I'll be ending it on the knot. So I'm tacking it down on the knot so it can be well secured. So after which I will go in to form same ruffle on the left side. So stitching this down properly to avoid falling off, then I'll start forming my ruffle on the left side too, same way I did the ruffle on the right side. That's how I'm going to do the ruffle too on the left side, and I'll be flipping a little material at the back of the right ruffle so it can serve as a fence for the ruffles on the right, as they are much more than the ruffles I'll be making on the left, but I'll also be ending it on the knot as well. So just watch what I'm doing, then you guess what I'm trying to explain to you. So having forming my ruffle on the left and ending it on the knot, this is what I have. So let me show you the back view, what I achieve at the back. So this is the back view as well. So I have already tacked the knot to the base, and the flip that I told you about, that is it at the back. Then see how beautiful this is looking from the back view to the front view. I've stitched all the stitchable and tacked all the tackable, so nothing is going to fall off. That's been well secured. So guys, this is the end product of this beautiful trendy Gele style in an AutoGele. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, on your notification bell so as to get notified whenever I post a new video, and don't forget to share with your family and friends so they can get to learn from this tutorial as well. So guys, this is the Gele, beautifully styled and so elegant. Guys, this is so classy. So I hope you learn one or two from this tutorial. So don't forget to on your notification bell, subscribe and like our videos. Until next time, bye bye.